Okay, it's March 31st, 2018, and it's about 4:54 right now, and we got calm waters today, and I'm going to try to do some filming, and then hopefully I can do a time lapse, but I wanted to show really kind of how close I was to the water. You know, people always question that, so the tide is going out. I will try to follow it down the bank as it does go out, best I can. Alright, just wanted to make a little video documenting this, and you know, even look at how that water is mirroring the light.
Of course, this day was an outgoing tide. I did follow the water down a little bit before I started doing this video. So I am actually still above the water, 5.5 feet. My tripod sets with my camera, and I'm probably a foot up past this water. As you can see here, it's down, still down, but it isn't allowing me to go all the way out to the end like I'd like to. Plus, too, the bugs get atrocious here and really starts eating us up or eating me up because I'm the one down there standing in all this. But what I wanted to do was do a comparison and show you a sun departure with high compression and mirroring occurring at the same time, which causes this effect of an apparent horizon in comparison to where eye level should be. Also, too, you can see this. Well, you can't really see them because of the way the lighting is, but there is a boat here, and here shortly I'll bend my camera down. Always remember the angle of light changes things. And then you see this other boat in the farther background coming in, and he looks like he's floating above the water line. You even see his wake, created above the false. It's a false horizon, folks. That's not where the water actually ends. That's not where the curve begins. On this particular day, it actually it's pulling everything downward. So when science talks about refraction pulling things up, um, it really makes me question it, because when I start doing these comparisons on days when there's mirroring and there's high compression, the false horizon or the apparent horizon um, is much closer than it should be, even at a higher perspective. Um, in other words, everything's uh, appears to be lower in the sky than, or on the horizon, than what it should be. And when you do these comparisons on days where you have good visibility, it really changes. And you can see there where you can see the water when I changed the angle of light coming into the camera. Now, I sped some of this up to make it a shorter video, but then I slowed it down here to normal speed, because you can even go back and watch the two different amounts of time it takes for this sun to depart our view. In other words, in this part, it's going to drop like a rock. In other words, it's going to appear to set much faster, much quicker. What causes this is, if you ask me, it's partly magnification causes the compression of the horizon to get compressed downward. In other words, it gives you a false horizon, because the horizon actually should be above these channel markers. Now, when you look at these channel markers, they all appear to be small, one's smaller than one and one smaller than the other. Out of these three, they're all the same, approximately the same height. Channel markers, when they put these in, they're not that far out of the height that these things stick up. Sure, some stick up higher than others, but not by that much. And it's apparent, well, I should say it's obvious how they're at different distances. Even here, you get a big view of a bunch of different channel markers, and they're all at different distances, at different heights. And that's perspective for you, all right? But why would the sun be magnified, you might ask? Because it's much further away. It's going through a much denser weather condition, more evaporated water. So on this particular day, we might have had cold air and warm water, and the evaporation rate might have been much higher. On some of these days, we do get humid days, and it's even in the cooler months, we still get humid days. I mean, one day you could go out there and it's 80 degrees in February, and another day you can go out there and it's 30 degrees, 35 degrees. Also, look where it apparently vanishes at, always above the visible water line. And that's the thing. It's not vanishing there. Now, what I really want to do is I want to take all the footage that I did this particular day, because there are some really good comparisons that you can make in it. Even though the part that I'm going to compare this to is from Pine Island. So this here is from Bayport. And I should have put in a part before this, but when I make the other video, you'll see where the Bayport rack is. The Bayport rack is approximately the same distance from Pine Island as it is from the Bayport. Okay, so you got really approximately the same distance, just looking at it from a different angle. Okay, so I just want to set that straight. They're not exactly the same distance, but they're close enough to where you shouldn't see a major difference in where the sun converges on the horizon, right? You wouldn't think you would see a major difference. But there's something else that I did that I want to show too. Even though I should have did it pointed at the Bayport bird rack, I did a test one day without a level on the Bayport bird rack, and where I kind of, when you use your virtual horizon, you can go up, you can go down, and it'll stay pretty much on its level. But when you split the difference, and that's what I did one day, was I just split the difference. It showed me that my horizon should have been above the Bayport bird rack. Somebody might laugh and say, well, that would prove concavity. But no, what it does is it proves perspective, because perspective is a very, very, very funny thing. Now here I did get, here's the Bayport rack. I did get it in at the very end of the video, and I show you how it's mirroring too, how it's mirroring underneath. Next, I'm going to go to my test with a level and the virtual horizon.
Okay, I got the virtual horizon on, and I'm going to zoom out all the way. I'm going to put it on infinity. Oh, I took a picture and I didn't really want to, but this is what I'm going to do. Okay, we see where the virtual horizon shows. Now, what I brought here with me today, at least I hope I did, is my handy dandy level. And I'm gonna hopefully get a focus on this thing. Let me get on the other side. It might not have so much light being in it. I hope you can see it's level. Right on the money. Can't tell. Okay. So I've got it as level as possible. And look where the horizon actually is. It's above the water. Imagine that. And actually, now my bubble is a lot leveler. It's more or less on the money. What I can see of it, it's on the money. Now, look where it's leveled at. You can barely see the water. Look at that.
Yeah, again, I wish I would have been zoomed in on the Bayport rack when I did this test. Um, but it does give you an idea of where eye level should actually be, and how much it's being compressed. And again, whenever I get another good day of good visibility, I want to do this test again. But I don't know if I'll ever get another day like the day I've got on a set of. I did a series of videos called Flat Earth in Search of the True Horizon. Let me see, on part one, I got like 337 views, and then it went down to 142 on part two, 183 part three, 357 on part four, part five, I got 317, and then on part six, which I saved the best for last, I got 739 views on it, which really, this is why I know that we're getting censored really, really bad. And here is that particular day. Let me see. I published it on January 13, 2019, but I'm sure I took this probably. I think it was in December that I took this. I'm going to have to check, and I will check. But I think it was December 2018. I've got a hard drive. It allows me to put two hard drive discs in it at a time. And I wish I could get one with six. That'd be hopefully my next purchase. But here I've got this part sped up too. Can't remember exactly how fast I had it going. I'm pretty sure I did. Let me just make a quick check. Nope, this part is at regular speed. I think the next part I sped up again to try to make the video shorter. But when it gets to the edge of the water, I'm going to slow it back down to real-time speed. So if somebody wants to time, the amount of time it takes for this sun to really vanish, they can check it out. But I do suggest that you go back and watch all the parts, because really there was some excellent boat footage in there. And obviously you can see here a boat moving off just to the right of the screen, and then to the right of the sun is the Bayport rack. Excuse me, I'm kind of thinking about why things get compressed. And partly I do believe it's the mirroring helps cause or is partially to blame for this compression. We know it's the weather conditions that are causing it, evaporation rate above the water. All of this causes it. And you can see me turning my light compensation exposure up and down, trying to get the best exposure I can get without the screen going totally dark on me. That's what I've been trying to work on. And when you're in the movie mode, you can even go to your manual exposure, which works pretty good too. See, perspective causes objects to get smaller. So when they get smaller, they'll look smaller on the horizon. And that's why everybody's confused about where their actual eye level is. Now, this might not be exactly where eye level is, because you are going to have some light diffraction, but you're not going to have miles and miles of light diffraction, nor are you going to have light refraction pulling something up this high up above. That's why I say when I did this test and I seen where my eye level actually should be, or very well close to where it should be, it's pretty obvious to me that we got something going on here. In other words, when we get this good visibility, you really do see more and more of the horizon. Now this is a little flick of where I had my camera. Now my camera's set at 28 inches, but you see the little seawall here. This camera here was sitting right on the seawall, but that water was actually coming up above the back side of that seawall, higher than my legs are. That's sitting down in this little hole. So again, I'm saying 2 feet. I'm taking 4 inches away, because like I said, my camera's sitting down in that hole. Water's up about 4 inches higher than my legs are at this point. And I did try to place this in with my cell phone, because I wanted to show my camera height, and showing that my camera is a heck of a lot lower than the first part of the video, where I was up 5.5 to 6.5 feet. And then watch how long it takes for this sun to vanish. And again, we're not only seeing the sun at a much longer distance, we're actually seeing the sun do what it does, and that's to flatten out at the bottom. And again, look, not much mirroring happening. Not much mirroring happening at all. And that's not clouds out there, folks. That is water. And you're seeing the water up that high because that is where your eye level actually is. And man, you try to explain this and show people this, and immediately they want to come up with some excuse on, well, they're going to throw the refraction excuse. But if you're going to throw the refraction excuse, what you're saying is when I get Cutter's Rock on this same day, I'm not seeing the 11 miles at 28 inches or 2 feet. Well, crap, I'm seeing it. It's obvious when it's in the video and you see it at its proper height and not, um, smashed and compressed down to the very bottom of the other rack. It's telling you exactly where your eye level is. And again, don't forget, I'm at a lower perspective on this footage. And to me, this is like the never-ending sun departure. I don't think what we're seeing here is a sun going over any curvature. I think what we're seeing here is a sun converging on the horizon and going to its vanishing point. Because again, you'll see how it looks like a flat disc as it's moving away. It's not going over a curve. It's just moving farther and farther away. And that, my friends, is the Bayport bird rack. Not at full zoom either, but it's showing you right where eye level should be. And I think I did post the other video where I was using my virtual horizon on the bird rack, and it did show it being above the rack. Again, it's taken forever and forever. And another thing is right toward the end, I'll track a boat a little bit. But again, if you want to watch the whole video, the entire video, you can start out with Flat Earth in Search of the True Horizon Part 1. And again, Part 6 was my favorite part because I was zoomed in on the Crystal River Power Plant in that video. And then I made a couple other videos with that same part, showing that my camera height on my very last picture I took was at 4 inches and was still able to get the Crystal River Power Plant, even with an obstruction in front of me, at 4 inches off the water. So again, this was one of my best days of visibility I think I had out there. And I'm not doing this with the lighting. It's changing as the light is vanishing from our view. And it's still not gone. It's still not gone. And it's still not gone. All right, folks. You be the judge of it yourself. I can only just show you what I got and let you decide for yourself.